New York Jets, a mandatory minicamp is in full swing, and it's always a positive sign when there are no Egyptian vacations that we know about. But according to Jets offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand and his latest comments, it looks like Allen Lazard will be a New York Jet for the 2025 season. We'll talk about that and much more, all coming up here on a Wednesday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome back here into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. Appreciate you all joining us here on this Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Smash that like button, hit subscribe on your way into the building. It's completely free and it helps us grow significantly here on the show. Call into the show with the pin comment. Throw out your questions in the chat. Sorry for the delayed start. I just finished finals today. Thank God. I got graduation tomorrow, and then I'll be able to fully focus on this show, this and only this, for about 3 months. So I know I've been all over the place these past few weeks. That's because I've had finals going on, but finally here, and we're going to be here to stay for a long time. I had to push the show back, have extended family in town for the graduation, so we're all over the place. Awful planning per normal for my family standards. So let's just hop right into it. Let's bring on our guest, Matt O'Leary, who joins us every single Wednesday here on the show. Matt, how you doing? And of course, thanks to my fault, we have 9 minutes with you here on the show, so we'll try to rapid fire.
That is quite okay. Look, I'm happy to join, even if it's for a short time, but pumped up, man. Mini camps here. I'm not going to lie to you. I love following along with all the tweets and stuff with all the reporters there. So looking forward to chopping it up.
For sure. And like the things that just annoy me are when like it's Justin Fields 11 for 11 in his underwear during 7-on-7 team drills today. The Jets may have found their franchise quarterback, but when it's something like Marcelino McCrary Ball being all over the field, forcing turnovers, or Jamal Pritchett making an impact on offense, like the under the radar names who are really clawing for roster spots, that's what makes me excited. And someone who I would say is really clawing for a roster spot on this Jets team based on what he's proved his first 2 years in the green and white is Allen Lazard. But Jets offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand doesn't really feel the same way as me. He told reporters today he's really pleased with the amount of effort Lazard has put into trying to learn this playbook, and he thinks he's going to be a great fit in New York. I know you and I have pretty much been in the same boat, so of trying to move on from Lazard, whether that's via trade or whether that's outright cutting him, and then you ultimately save the money. I don't get the logic here, Matt, on why the Jets would look to retain Allen Lazard for another year, even on the rework deal.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, that wouldn't be my plan. I think I made it pretty clear what I would like, but there was a report from Mike Florio earlier in the week saying that he didn't want the reunion with Aaron Rodgers. The Jets are really thin at wide receiver, and again, like, this isn't me making the case because
I get you.
In general, I think that's just part of the reason, and he's just got to catch the ball, man. Like that's been his issue with the Jets. He's led the league in drop rate each
and penalties.
And penalties too, big issue. But we'll see. Hopefully they have a plan for him, and I hope he's better than what he was the first go around without Aaron Rodgers in 2023.
I don't think someone with an 18% drop rate and 6 penalties in 1 year deserves to be rostered at the NFL level, in my opinion. I mean, when the Jets signed Lazard, they were hoping to get a great possession receiver who can go up and get contested catches. The Jets have gotten nothing of sorts from Allen Lazard that kind of fit the bill of a big prototypical contested catch type guy. I always say, Matt, if you got to talk about how great of a blocker a receiver is, they're not that great.
Yeah, usually, right? That's kind of just the saving grace. So you go, oh, well, at least he gives you that. Hopefully, in a perfect world, they give you both. Well, the Jets are going to run the ball a lot, though. At least that's my feel for this team. So maybe they find a role for him as in that, but uphill battle for me, in my opinion.
Breece Hall going to bounce back this year. He pretty much told reporters today how serious that knee injury was. Aaron Glenn called him ahead of the draft, saying that he's going to be a New York Jet and the Jets have a vision for him. You think Breece Hall's back to 2023 form during the 2025 season?
Yeah, I'm buying Brees Hall stock. I did a video earlier today, kind of recapping what happens, and I am all in on Tanner Engstrand, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson. Those are the three guys I'm buying stock in. I think they do have a plan in place for Brees. I'm confident that he can get back and be the guy that we, all we're so excited about in 2022 and through parts of 2023. So. I know it's a contract year for him. That matters too. He's got to prove it, but I think he can.
Absolutely. I think Garrett Wilson's going to have a huge role in this offense. The sleeper I've been mentioning since the day the Jets signed him as an undrafted free agent. He's been making some noise in OTAs and mandatory minicamp for that matter. That's Jamal Pritchett from South Alabama. He's someone I really like. And for those who were watching the show last year, I know how to evaluate my UDFA kick returners from small schools. Brandon Codrington, I said all along, since the day the Jets signed him as a UDFA, he should be the Jets returner. I mean, do you think there's any chance, just how thin the receiver room is, maybe a guy like Pritchett, or I'll throw another fun one, Pokey Wilson from Florida State? Do you think any chance one of those guys, or even a Dymere Miller, a UDFA, any one of those, any name that kind of fits that bill of a long shot UDFA, has college experience, though? Any chance one of those guys, you can see them making an impact this summer and clawing onto the roster?
If one does, I think Pokey Wilson would, or Pokey, is it Wilson or Williams?
Wilson.
Okay. I don't know why I said guess myself. I said Pokey Wilson. I was like, wait, maybe. But yes, because I've heard his name a few times during OTAs and minicamp. So we'll see if it carries over into the summer, right? Like, when pads go on, sometimes things change. I know you're probably too young to remember, but Chad Hansen in 2018 with the Jets had a really big minicamp in OTA and then did nothing in training camp, ended up getting cut and didn't play in the NFL. So you never know, but maybe he does.
I can guarantee you I would probably watch two Jet games a year from 2015 to 2018. I certainly wasn't following OTAs back then. I mean, OTAs and mandatory minicamp, it's meant to get the fans excited, I think. I mean, that's what we've been feeling for the past 2 summers. Even just going to 2 training camp practices last year, I kind of felt the electricity with Aaron Rodgers and that new team, how excited, obviously, this fan base was to see what a healthy Aaron Rodgers with a even further revamped roster than the 2023 season could do. And obviously that didn't lead to much. I just want to get your thoughts, though, on Justin Fields. Not so much on what you've seen from him on the field with the unofficial stats of him throwing the football in his underwear, but more so what you've seen from him talking to the media. He's now spoken to the media multiple times. Kind of what have you picked up on him from like a leadership perspective?
I think he's going to be an easy guy to root for. Like, I think he says all the right things, and I do think he gets, his teammates and the players on the team to buy in. I'm rooting for him. I think he's a good kid. I'm excited for him. Honestly, at this point, I mean, we're not even talking like on the field, but I think he's just got to prove that he can take a step forward, because I think, the maturity is there. The leadership qualities are there. To me, I don't have any doubts about that.
I really, really like Justin Fields, and I'm going to root for him. I'm pretty high on Justin Fields. I don't know where you are. I have him helping lead the Jets to an 8-win season this year, and I think Justin Fields, I'm going to throw this at you. I think Keith McPherson from WFAN was actually in this chat not too long ago, and he asked me, he said, you think Justin Fields, great question, I didn't even think of this, will pass total, obviously not passing or just rushing, total, pass the 28 touchdown mark that Aaron Rodgers had last year with the Jets?
For just passing, right?
No, total.
I think he's close to it. I think he's between 25 to 30 would be my guess for total.
I was in that same range. I was thinking like 26, 27. Figure he throws, I'd say, for 17, 18 touchdowns and then picks up another 5 to 10 with his legs. That would be probably my prediction right now for Justin Fields. I know, Matt, we got like 1 quick minute with you. Left you to rapid fire, of course, due to my mistake in pushing the show back by 15 minutes, unfortunately. 2 quick hitters. Did you see what Devontae Adams said today in LA?
No, I missed that. Please fill me in.
Subtle jab at the Jets, talking about how everyone's so excited in LA and there's an aura in the building, unlike previous stops where he's been over the past year. My reaction is you are the one who requested a trade and to come play in New York with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted the reunion, right? It was the worst kept secret that they wanted to play together again, and obviously it didn't go well. So, okay, fair enough.
And Aaron Rodgers refused. He took the higher road here. I wrote an article about it earlier today, same for Davante Adams. Didn't take any jab at the Jets when asked. A Pittsburgh media member kind of threw like a subtle question at him, trying to get him to take the bait, saying, "What's the big difference between the Jets and the Steelers, and what will lead to more success in Pittsburgh?" And he said, "If you're trying to get me to say something bad about my previous organization, I will not say it." So, step in the right direction for Grandpa Rodgers. Last time he got an opportunity to air out his grievances against the Jets, he took it and ran with it on the Pat McAfee program.
Yeah, I was gonna say his answers or his comments on Aaron Glenn rubbed me the wrong way the last time we heard from him. So glad that he took the high road there. I could appreciate that, and I'll toss him some respect for that one.
Absolutely, Matt. Appreciate you sparing some time for us. OTA's mandatory minicamp, always a great thing when we don't have to worry about Egyptian vacations. Have a great night. You got any final thoughts?
No final thoughts for me. It's going to be a quiet time now, but maybe we'll see some extensions. I don't know. Hopefully.
Jeremy Fowler told me initial offers have been made, so who knows what goes down. Matt, appreciate you. Have a great night.
You too, Connor. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Matt O'Leary NY, shoot him a follow, shoot him a sub. Does a great job covering our New York Jets as a fellow content creator. Matt joins us every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. Only got about 8 minutes with him today because, to my mistake, I had to push the show back 15 minutes. Normally we get 30 minutes with Matt once a week, which is always a blast. But shortened segment today due to my fault, my family's really, but I will take the blame for this one. I'll take the higher road like Aaron Rodgers did, rather taking a subtle jab at my organization, that being my family, that Davante Adams chose to do with the LA media today. But appreciate you all. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. To all your questions in the chat, call into the show with the pin comment. Every $2.99 Super Chat or gifted membership gives you a raffle entry and a chance to win a Santana Moss, Wayne Corbett, Lavernius Cole signed photo, a Don Maynard signed photo, an Altoon signed photo, a free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. Every $2.99 Super Chat or gifted membership gives you an entry. More entries you have, the higher chance you have of winning. Keep smashing the like, keep hitting subscribe, keep hitting those Super Chats, keep hitting those memberships. Again, throw all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat, and you can call into the show with the pin comment. Let's just head right over to the phone lines. First up today is Charles Gorman, who joins us on the program. Charles, how are you? What's up?
Congratulations on graduating.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Off to high school in September.
Hopefully you enjoy it. Spend some time with the family. Anyways, I remember listening to you about, you think Justin Fields should throw. Hold on. I'm going to make the Yankee game real quick. Hold on. Keep me right there. Okay. I think Justin Fields should try to throw at least 20 touchdowns. I know that may seem a bit much to some people, but I like to see him throw at least 20 touchdown passes. Now, if he picks up several with his legs, that would be awesome. But I would try because, I understand we don't have the most talented wide receiver room outside of Garrett Wilson. Hopefully, I heard Mason Taylor has looked pretty good so far. I know Membu has struggled a bit against Will McDonald, but what I heard, he's looked pretty good so far in training camp. So we'll see. But what I like is that we're going to try to run the ball more, which is great because I always believed in a strong running game. It helps out young quarterbacks. It keeps your defense fresh and it wears out the opposing team's defense. That called me old school. That's just the way I feel. Plus, I think Justin Fields is poised to have a big year this year. I know he was having somewhat of a pretty big season for Pittsburgh, even though Arthur Smith didn't do that great of a job in game planning for him and utilizing his skill set. And plus, the offensive line for the Steelers is not quite as talented on paper compared to the Jets. So there's that. But, hopefully I love what I've seen from Aaron Glenn so far. He looks like a good coach to me.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, what I will say what I will say about Justin Fields is you obviously want to see a quarterback no matter what. Really try to get over that 20 hump, especially if you're looking to win 8 games this year. If you're looking to try to make the playoffs and make a run over the next few years and really try to build something special in New York, I think if he can surpass 25 touchdowns total, that would be great. The biggest thing for me is I want a scheme tailored around him. I want a scheme that plays to his strengths. So if we're playing to his strengths and we're winning football games because of him, and he throws 15 touchdowns and picks up 10 with his legs, I'm more than happy with that. I'm focused on tending to his strengths and allowing him to get into a scheme where he can thrive. I'm looking at the touchdown totals right now. That's something he hasn't done throughout his career. The 2 full years he started 15 games for Chicago in 2022, 13 in 2023. In the 15 games in 2022, he threw 17 touchdowns. And in the 13 games in 2023, he threw 16 and then 5 touchdowns through 6 games. You're looking at about a touchdown a game. If he can give me 18 touchdowns and 8 with his legs, and you win 8 games, I'm content with that.
I know you said 8, and while that would be very nice, I want to see this team try to win 10 games because we have talent on this team.
I just don't think they're going to win 10 games. I really don't. They have a difficult schedule. I think they have a difficult schedule, and they have some really, really rough patches this year. Again,
I know that, but they have talent on this team.
Keep that in mind. They have a first-year head coach. The Jets have a first-year head coach. The Jets are tinkering with a bunch of different things. Justin Fields, I am the biggest Justin Fields supporter you will meet on the face of the universe. Justin Fields, I think, can win the Jets 10 games. The thing is, Justin Fields, you hope he's the guy who hits his ceiling, which I really think he will. But for all we know, he could be 2021 Justin Fields, his rookie year, where it was an unmitigated disaster, or 2022, or any year he had in Chicago. And then you look at that, and the way I look at it is if you're a glass half full guy, like you clearly are in this case, you're looking at 8 to 10 wins. You finish in that 10 range. If you're looking at the glass half empty and really basing everything off of what you've seen, which I really, really like to do normally, you're looking at 2 to 4 wins. I think the Jets could win 4 games just on talent alone. I think the floor is 4-13. Like, literally, if their coaching staff, which I don't think will happen, if Aaron Glenn is as bad as Robert Saleh, their coaching staff is as bad as last year, I think the Jets can win 4 games based on just pure talent.
I agree, but I just don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be naive, but way I've seen, I don't think this coach staff is going to be as bad as it was.
Not at all. I'm just saying, like, even if it is this bad, the Jets, I think, win 4 games no matter what.
True. I know the Jets play the Steelers week 1 at MetLife Stadium. It's going to be at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know they're playing the Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers. That, to me, is a bit much more winnable game than people think because the Steelers' offensive line is not that good. I know Aaron Rodgers
isn't good. Their quarterback isn't good. I said their quarterback isn't good. Let's call it out as Aaron Rodgers has not been a good player since 2021, winning 1 MVP. He hasn't been a great player since 2021. I mean, what tells you he's going to be able to do it now with a non-handpicked offensive coordinator? Let's keep this in mind. He's going to be working with someone in Arthur Smith, who Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers have 2 completely different views on the game of football and 2 completely different offensive concepts and schemes. I think it's going to be a big adjustment for Rodgers going from his hand-picked offensive coordinator of Nathaniel Hackett to now a guy who has a completely different coaching style than the OCs he's worked with in the past.
That's very true. That's 100% true. And
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to – sorry, I don't mean to cut you off here, and then we'll let you go in a second. I said this the other day. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a bottom 5 quarterback this year, and I think he's benched before week 14.
There's a possibility. Look, Connor, keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Have a good day, my friend. It was a pleasure seeing you at the draft party.
Thank you. Likewise, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Charles Gorman checks in here on the show, starts us off. Great call from Charles. Appreciate all of his support on the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, throw your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Make sure to get into our membership raffle. Every gifted membership or $2.99 super chat gives you a raffle entry and an opportunity to win a Wayne Corbett, Lavernius Coles, Santana Moss signed photo, a Don Maynard signed photo, an Altoon signed photo, a free item from our merch store and a channel emoji. Every $2.99 super chat or gifted membership gets you an entry. More entries, you have the higher chance of winning. So get those super chats and gifted memberships in. We appreciate all of your support here on the channel. Our Lions fan and our great friend David D cuts the line with a $20 super chat. Isn't it, AG?
I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
David, you are the best, my friend. I appreciate all of your support. And by the way, we've emailed before. I've been so busy, like I said, with graduation and finals and shit that doesn't matter, but I have to prioritize for some stupid reason. So I haven't been able to get it out to you. You won 2 prizes in the June membership raffle. Last time I know you donated your prize to your prize is to Nick Shine, because you won 2 prizes last month too. You donated your prize to Nick Shine. So I don't have your info. I forgot. I don't know the second prize. I will go back and check my notes app, but I know you won an Aaron Glenn signed trading card. So I'm sure that you're a Lions fan. I'm sure you like that. So email me your info and I will get that out to you ASAP. So David D, you're the best. Appreciate the $20 super chat. And guys, again, please keep the gifted memberships and super chats coming. They get you raffle entries. They go a long way. He says, Connor, since the completion of the draft, what Jet opinions of yours have changed, if any, since the end of the draft? Congrats on finishing another school year. Looking forward to some of your recent shows. Appreciate that, David. Appreciate the kind words. I'm going to be much more available, much more active, and I'm going to have pretty much my full attention on this very program over the next 3 months. I have a lot of ideas on what I'm going to tinker with, because this channel is about 1.5 years old. So we're still trying, figure out and see what we could do here. Try to reach 2K subs. So appreciate you, David. You're the best. What I will say, this is a really, really good question. My thought on the Jets, what have changed since the draft, if any? Nothing too significant. I would say one thing I will say, something that I think has kind of, my opinion has kind of been, my opinion's kind of changed on since the draft, is from what we've heard from AZ Thomas thus far, I think the Jets have a really good plan for him, and I'm feeling more confident in the secondary than before the draft. That's what I'll say. Nothing significant. Like, I don't think the Jets made a move that really alters their plan or approach for the season. That's all I can give you, David. Sorry. I wish I had a more insightful answer here. I don't think much changed. I had them winning 8 games before the draft. I have them winning 8 games after the draft. They didn't draft a quarterback. They didn't draft a wide receiver high in the draft. They didn't take a run stuffer. That's really all that's changed, but I really, really do appreciate the $20 super chat. And again, keep the membership super chats coming. They keep the show going, and they go a long way on this very program. You are the best. I appreciate you all. Before we get back, David says, Connor, I will donate the other prize and keep the Aaron Glenn prize. Rich has been very supportive. I would like him to have the other prize. Perfect. Okay, David, email me your address. I will get that to you tomorrow. It's Thursday. I will get that to you tomorrow. I will bring it to the post office after my graduation tomorrow. And then Rich, since David wants to donate it, I will find what the other prize is in my notes app quickly. But Rich, I just threw my email in the chat. Email me your address, and I will get that out to you tomorrow as well. So Rich, appreciate you. David, appreciate you. Again, guys, questions, comments, thoughts, throw those in the chat. Super chats, memberships. Earn you raffle entries. Call into the show with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Jets Worldwide says maybe Lazard realized Pittsburgh and Rodgers are on the downslope. Perhaps he does realize that, and realizes Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016, and I think they ultimately tank. I don't think Lazard has much say here. I think the Jets want to keep Lazard. I think if the Jets wanted to trade him, he'd be traded. I think if the Jets wanted to keep him, which I think they do, they will keep him. Jets Worldwide. Again, snowballs to school's out for summer, Connor. Oh, yes, absolutely. So, yeah, today I was kind of out of order today because normally this past week I started my finals on Thursday. Last one was today. So from Thursday till today, I was able to get out of school at 11 because the finals from 9 to 11. So I just got home. I just study for the next one, which was kind of annoying. But at least I got home earlier. Today, though, I had my school district had the athletic awards to give out. So I had to stay until 3:30 for that. Brought home the baseball MVP, which was great. My athletic director gave this very program a shout out and verbatim I wish I could get the video up here. I don't have the video installed on my laptop. Verbatim of what he said while he was announcing my award. He said, "The only bad thing I can say about Connor," this guy, he's a Giants fan, keep in mind. He works for the Giants as well. Says, quote, "The only bad thing I can say about Connor is that he's a Jet fan, but it wasn't his choice." Glad I threw that second part in there. But yes, school is out, and I am very, very, very excited. Tomorrow, my last day going to school until September, not even classes, just for graduation and to get out of there. Yes, Snowball, tell everyone, hit the like, please. Appreciate you all. DTN, appreciate you, DTN, says Connor. Hope you do well in high school. Also, congrats, man, on graduating from the Torture, which is middle school. Appreciate you, DTN. I hope I do well in high school as well. You're trying to, outline the colleges where you want to go. Good broadcasting programs for sure. You need good grades to get into a lot of those different. You have to have good grades and to get to all the different main broadcasting programs. I wouldn't even say middle school was torture. 6th grade was just annoying. Like, we did a lot of different stuff in 7th grade. In 6th grade, then 5th grade. 7th grade was hell. I hated 7th grade. I mean, it was just such a big jump, in my opinion, from 6th grade to 7th grade, then 5th grade to 6th grade. 8th grade, though, I thought 8th grade was probably my favorite year I've done in school yet. I met a bunch of new people, so, and I just think it was a good year. I thought it was a really, really good year. So I'm happy that school's over, and this kind of happens every year. Like, I'm a little disappointed that the year's ending. I hate final exams, but it's like, once I get about 3 days deep in the summer, I'm not gonna think twice about, trying to go back to school. Appreciate you, DTN. Where we're in the chat again, guys. Keep the questions flowing. We'll stay on here a little longer. We'll try to go for about 35, 40 minutes here on this Wednesday. So Q&A style, throw your questions in the chat. Call into the show with the pin comment. You guys will kind of run the rest of the show here. That's what we did on Monday. Shout out yesterday to Josh for filling in on the show. I had these past 3 days, I had another graduation thing last night. It's kind of a thing where it's like, your like counselor, advisor for the middle school, they say a blurb about each kid. So my advisor gave a blurb, and this very program was also mentioned. So NY Flight Jets Talk, making some buzz at my school. So appreciate you all. Jets Worldwide again. Can you see the Steelers players voting Aaron Rodgers as their most inspirational teammate? Probably. I mean, he got voted that for the Jets. This guy's a headache, though. I'm so happy Aaron Rodgers isn't here. I said it earlier, though. It looks like he's matured a little bit. He decided today not to take a jab and try to blow up the Jets in front of the Pittsburgh media. Last time he had that opportunity, he took it and ran with it. So looks like Aaron Rodgers maturing. But I could see Mason Rudolph getting that. Has been with Pittsburgh. This is now his second stint with Pittsburgh. A veteran-type presence. I could see, look out for Mason Rudolph as a name to potentially steal that. Daniel says, Connor and Matt thought you might be interested in this. Zach Wilson struggling at minicamp. That is so funny that you say this. I saw a tweet from Omar Kelly, who covers the Dolphins for the Miami Herald, about that. So I literally put in the draft on Jets X Factor that I'm literally going to write the second this show ends about that, because I'm sure that's exciting Jet fans already, for sure. Appreciate you, Daniel. Where were we in the chat? Nick says, Connor, I still have nightmares in my 30s over. They're just so annoying. So annoying. It's like, who can retain more information over a year? Cumulative exams are just annoying for me. I like unit by unit, so I can really, really lock in. So yeah, unit by unit. My first semester was all right. My second semester, though, in school, I actually do really, really solid. So I'm pushed to do well. The thing that I like most is I'm able to get good grades, what I call good grades at least, in something that I completely don't agree with, which is the education system, and something I completely dislike, that being school. So again, I think school is, I've said this before, I think school has so much potential. I think they don't teach us kids a lot of different things. We were in math class the other day. My math teacher is one of the only teachers who really cares about kind of teaching us real world things and what we're going to need down the road. He's a big preacher of that. So he literally said, raise your hand, everyone. Just, again, no problem if you don't know what this is. Raise your hand and tell me what a mortgage is. I was the only kid who raised my hand and was able to give a proper definition of what a mortgage is. Kids in my grade going into high school. There's kids in my class who were 10 times more school smarter than me. There are kids. It's about developing real world skills, and I think what we learn, and especially math, this PEMDAS stuff. In algebra this year, we had to do some of the stupidest things ever. The quadratic formula, which is like what I don't even remember the quadratic formula. I had my final on Friday, so thank God I'm done with math. But like, just some of the stuff they teach us is like, okay, when are we going to need this? I always say about math specifically, learn how to be good at plugging things into a calculator. That's all you need to know. I use math in my daily life. When I write about the Jets, calculating analytics for jetsxfactor.com, when I do this show, I use math all the time. You want to know how I'm able to get quick math facts and be able to calculate averages for and percents for when I'm writing JetX articles and things of that nature? It's called using a calculator. I know how to plug things into a calculator efficiently, and it's 10 times more efficient. So that's what I think math is all about. But yeah, finals in general suck. Absolutely. Rich says, congrats, Connor. Appreciate you. Rich, you're the best. Appreciate all of your support on the show here. David says the Jets are in a far better place with Aaron Glenn and without Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely. I completely agree. I think the Jets just needed a full culture change. I would personally, again, this is no bias, I would much rather have Justin Fields. And I don't even need to say that because you guys know I'm the least biased with the Jets whatsoever. I call it like I see it. I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. For what this team is looking for, I think Justin Fields fits the Jets better than Aaron Rodgers does. Kind of the mold that the Jets are going after, the new head coach coming into the building. That is what I really, really like. So completely agree with you, David. Rich says, congrats, Connor. Appreciate you. Rich, appreciate all of your support here on the show. Rich says, I hope Watt holds out. I think he gets a deal, and I think it's done in no issue. I think that's what happens with TJ Watt in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. David says, I learned percentages from reading baseball stats. I learned a lot from watching baseball. I pretty much learned how to read and pronounce difficult names from watching baseball as a kid. Percentages, not so much. Percentages, I'd say the way I kind of learned percentages well was kind of like basketball stats, like field goal percentage, things of that nature. I also picked up on it from like tests because like when I was in elementary school and we'd have like quizzes or whatever, they wouldn't put a percent, so they would put like 25 out of 28 or something like that. So then I was like, oh, I would go on Google, how do I calculate what percent? And then it told me, and that's pretty much how I picked up percents. I don't have a really cool story on how I learned percentages. But now now there's all these different crazy variables. Jets Worldwide, Snowball, Connor, high school will be what you make of it. Be inquisitive and learn to ask effective questions. That's the one thing my teachers say about me. I'm like always asking questions, and I'm always trying to be engaged and explore different points of views, especially on topics that I find intriguing and I think are worthwhile. So yeah, my goal in high school is I want to obviously get good grades. I want to be a good student, but I also don't want to be in the point where I'm studying in my room every single night doing work. I want to do this show. I want to have a social life, which I do have. So like there are great broadcasting programs out there that you don't need to have straight A's and straight A pluses to get into. So right now I'm going into high school with an open mind. I want to see what it's like. I really, really do. And I'm looking forward to college personally. Like I'm looking way ahead right now because I think college is kind of where I'm really able to develop skills that I'm going to need in the real world, that I'm going to need in the broadcast industry, because this is the dream. Doing shows like this, being a professional broadcaster. And again, I'm entering everything with an open mind. I'm just really intrigued to see where all this stuff takes me. That's my whole thought process. Appreciate you all. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Going to wrap up here soon on the program. So get your final questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. Appreciate you all. I got to reschedule Nick Faria for tomorrow. I got to reach out to Nick and tell him I can't. I got to text Nick after the show. No show tomorrow, unfortunately. I have a graduation party from like 4 to 9 o'clock tomorrow. So no show tomorrow, but we will be back Friday, and then from Friday, it's just I'm going to be here, and I'm going to have like my full attention. I'm going to really be tinkering with something. So I admitted it earlier at the show. These past few weeks, I haven't had full focus on the show. We missed like a whole week of coverage. So we've been all over the place here on this channel. So we're really going to get back to strict the daily content every single day coming up here soon now that my schedule is wide open. So definitely looking forward to that. You guys are the best. Appreciate you all tuning in here on the program. Talk JTS. Jets. Peace out, folks.